Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Master RKO, and today we are bringing you another C Class iRacing Street Stock series from Irwindale. Today, what we are going to be doing is a pre-recorded race that happened a little bit ago. This will be a little bit after the 5th place finish that you guys should have already seen. But today, we're going to be going into a few different things when it comes to the actual race. We've got some race gameplay in the background for you guys as well. And we're going to be kind of just going through the race and talking about some things about the way we were looking at the race, different things that changed, and sort of comparing and contrasting what led to the result that ends up happening, and also some of the things that are some do's and some don'ts, especially when iRacing, but also just when driving some of these tracks and racing against other people in general. So, starting off, as you can see, we started back in around 7th place. Started more on the inside, and because of that, we end up dropping back a little bit, mainly because we just don't get enough of a spot on the inside to get ourselves going. On a track like this, I compared a lot to the Darlington Speedway for the NASCAR series, where up in this white line is really where you're wanting to run to where you get the most speed starting out. I believe right here we actually already have our first caution, which I'm not exactly sure what ends up causing it, but at this point we have dropped back to 9th place. We're only on lap 4. And you can kind of look at the results over here as we go through. So there's some qualification stuff like that. This is where we started out in 9th there. There were some practice times and the results so far and some different laps and stuff. However, currently we are working our way back up towards the green flag. Because it's only lap 6 at this point, we are not going to be going for any kind of a pit stop or anything, so we will go ahead and fast forward us to the green flag. As you see, we did see a car pit actually in front of us, so because of that, we will actually gain a spot, which means as we come around to the green flag, we will still be on the inside, but we will be a little bit better in a better position. Coming around here, we're just trying to keep it low, just to make sure that we're not getting into the people above us, but also keeping our speed. As you can see, just like in the last race, there are a lot of dive bombing down to that bottom side. You can get a lot of speed coming through the corners and get some quick lap times, but you lose so much speed coming back up to the top of the track. So most of the time, I never chose to do that. As you can see, the 5 actually gets around us to send us back because he was running more to the outside. Because that's not opened up for us, we go ahead and head back up to the outside as well for 2 reasons. Number one, you actually keep a lot of speed out here on the outside because you're maintaining that momentum. You're not cutting down and losing all your momentum to do that dive bomb that you see people down there. They are gaining time out there, but because they're dive bombing, that brings you to the second reason you don't want to do that. They are burning through their tires. They will lose their tires really, really quickly because they are just slamming down there. This race didn't split at all, actually. So it's a wide variety of difficulty for drivers and driving skill sets, which is why you're going to see more people driving down there. But as you can see, for some of these, you actually see them not dive bombing as much. Here we actually realize that we're kind of faster than the 5. I just had a feeling just by the way he was driving that we could kind of get around him. So I start driving a little bit more aggressively this time around. I was getting a good feeling of the track this late in the week. It felt like I could kind of just steer it in there and really dive down and hold on to it. So here, we end up getting in front of the 5. He's back behind us. And we end up pouring through here. And currently we are in 5th, so we're actually top 5 already. So we've went from 7th place back to 9th, back up to 5th. Here the 13 gets a little loose. I probably could have dove down and around him, but he ends up getting off the throttle. So here I try to go for a little bit of a dive bomb, little late on the throttle, and this is going to end up being just a bit of a drag race between me and him. I thought I could possibly get by him because of how shaky he was, but it turns out that was just a small little misstep. He ends up getting back onto it, and it becomes an issue where I just can't get around him. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at some different cameras while we're looking at it. We'll go to the chopper cam here. As you can see, the 5 is still behind us, 13 is above us, and I believe at this point, we're trying to get behind them. We realize we're not going to get around the 13 the way that we're working, so we just fall back, but the caution does come out at lap number 19. And I believe this is where, at this point in the race, you're going to start seeing some forms of strategy. You're lap 20 out of a 50 lap race. We're going to go ahead and speed up a little bit here for everybody. And you see the leaders pitting. Number 13 is going to stay out. We go ahead and pit with the leaders. We want the tires here. We're going to click off the fuel just because we don't really need any fuel in these kind of races. But we're going to take the tires because it's early enough in the race to where these are going to last us pretty much the rest of the race. So with a good pit stop, we can get in and out pretty quickly. So this is, you're going to see pull in kind of deep, facing outwards. The 5, you're actually going to see who is behind us misses his pit stall in front of us. So he's got to kind of back up and through. So he's going to be losing time. We came in 4th position because of the wreck. We'll see where we're going to come out here as taking 4 tires, just getting everything going. We speed out of here in 1st, quick shift into 2nd. That way you get the tire spin, but you manage to get that grip from that 2nd shift up and through. Coming out of the pits, and we are currently in 8th position. So it seems like some other cars did not actually pit. So we are going to go ahead and make our way forward to the green flag. Currently lap 24, heading up to lap 25. As I believe here's the lineup. Halfway done with the race already with 2 cautions. Starting on the outside, which is actually where we want to start. The 13 actually had the lead here for a little bit. And he kind of holds up the line, gets to the outside where you want to be. We end up on the outside as well. And we're going to be trying to beat this 7 using this outside line. As you're going to see, he's going to come up and cut in front. He's going to stick there, and I thought about maybe bumping him and moving him. But I was trying to race more clean. Wasn't trying to really do anything dirty, especially this early. No really real need to. And I knew that we could be fast up here towards the high line. Maybe cutting it down a little bit to get a little more momentum. But the 7 was just running too deep. Too much on the brake. And I knew just running up here on the high line I was going to be able to get around them. Keeping those fresh tires even more fresh. And I'm pretty sure most of these guys that we do pass did not have fresh tires, especially the 7. So we know that we got him from the side. At this point, I know as long as I drive my line and I can put out consecutive laps, that I'm going to get by him. It's just the nature of how this outside line works. So as we are making our way through, the main thing that we're thinking about is running this outside line, keeping our tires fresh, making sure we're not burning through them too much. As you can see, the guys up front are still doing that dive bomb. So even if they don't pit, they might have to pit again anyways. And you still run the risk of spinning out doing that too. So we're just maintaining our tire wear. I believe at this point another caution does come out. 30 laps in, so at this point we've got 20 laps left. And this is where some strategy can kind of come into play. We're in 5th currently. Depending on what the leaders do at this point will depend on if you pit or not. If the leaders pit, you're probably going to pit with them just so that way you can keep the tires with them. If they don't pit, then you're going to stay out most likely unless you want to try to chance it. We end up staying out. Hello, Windows Defender. And we're going to go ahead and make our way to the green flag, as I'm pretty sure nobody ends up staying out. So we are going to then go to the green flag. We are currently sitting in 6th. And as we get closer to the green flag, we're going to kind of get settled in here on what we're going to do. We're going to have about 15 laps left. Lining up on the inside, the leader checks everybody up, almost gets a bunch of people rear-ended. That was the 1 car. He normally sits towards the front for most of the rest of the race, same with the number 2 car there. 8 spins his tires off the restart, but he seems to keep a hold of it. 13 gets a pretty good jump, and we just work our way right back to the top. We know that we're fast up at the top. We know that we can hold it up at the top. We'll go do a far chase cam here just to kind of get a better look at the way things are going. You can see the 6 down there. He's kind of doing a little bit of a dive bomb, trying to keep things a little clean. He's trying to get ahead. Not really working. We are way too fast up here at the top. The 13 is diving way down there, and at this point we're the only ones in the top. Now the 13 makes a big mistake, dives down but gets too much on the throttle, hits the wall, and that is going to give us 4th position. We end up coming right back up into the high line from the pass, and we just maintain this high line. What this is doing is this is just maintaining our tires for later. Yes, it may not be that big of an issue, but we know we're going to have that grip later on, running this high line. And we can keep the speed and maintain it with these guys. These guys up here that are doing these dive bombs could easily spin out, could easily run into each other. And we know that we're going to be up here pretty safe in the high line. So as we're coming through, we're just running even more consistent laps, making sure that we're not overdoing it. There's no need to run super aggressive. We're in 4th place. We're in a top 5 spot, which we could be perfectly happy with. Any kind of a top 5 finish, even top 10s most of the time I'm pretty happy with, especially if I start further back. We went ahead and qualified for this race, so we started 7th. So 4th place would actually be really good for that kind of a finish. At this point, I'm slowly starting to realize that those guys are getting a little bit of a lead on me, so I try to go for the dive bomb with them. As you can see there, the 8 actually spins out, and because of that, we are there in time for the caution to go out for me to get into 3rd place. And we are currently sitting in the top 3 behind the number 1 and the number 2 at lap 43. So lap 43, we're going to go ahead and move our way on to the final bit. Lap 47 here. At this point, I'm like, okay, 1 lap, 2 laps. Probably going to have about a green-white checkered. So this is green-white checkered number 1. Coming off the start, we got the 6 on the outside of us, the number 1 and the number 2 up here. Number 1's going to hold out as long as he possibly can to start this race. He goes off, they make a little contact. At this point, we're just trying to drag race the 6, because we're trying to get in front of him to maintain our top 3 position. We're only going to have a couple laps. The 2 actually gets into the 1 there and gets him up a little bit. 1 dives in super far, but the 2 makes a little bit of a move. We swing by. At this point, we're door to door for 1st place. Swing it down in to try to maintain it. I didn't think we were going to get this. And what you're going to see is as we're coming through here, we actually have the 6 beside us. You can't really see him. I was going to go for a little bit of a move, but I realized we're not going to get to him. We get bumped from behind, swept from another car. The 6 blows by us. We cross the line, and we end up getting a top 3 finish at Irwindale C Class. So far, my highest placement in C Class. But what I want to show you, which me and the guy actually talked about it afterwards, But I just mentioned to the 6, who we're actually going to go back and see was the actual culprit of that bump, and the 1 actually gave us a little bit of a nudge. So here's what you don't see coming out of this. So as we move down, we're coming back up. The 6 does not let off the throttle, gives us a bump. I'm just in the throttle, but the 1 was coming off of that spin. We catch him, and we just barely graze across the line. But the 6 made a move that, in fairness, is Rubbin's Racing. I don't really put anything against him. You can see the 1 here is also trying to get down there to get a spot back. The 6 just obviously did not want to slow down. You can see the damage on the front of his car too. Thankfully, we get a clip by the 1. And I believe if we go to the scenic cam, nope. I believe there is a... See, there's at the line too. So there's your shot at the line. I don't believe that there's a good shot at the line, though, that we can actually take a look and see. There's kind of a... Actually, we could do a rear chase. So there you go. There's the shot at the line, basically, of what it would have been. TV cam kind of shows some good shots, too. TV2 actually shows a really good shot. So there's the difference between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The 6 car actually did get that bump and get into 2nd. The thing that we kind of want to go over here, which it wasn't necessarily needed. So the 6 puts that bump. He's not going to get a win. He's not going to get that bump and do anything. There was no need for it. Chances are, if I don't hold out as long as I do, and the 1 is there, we probably wreck the entire field. And that's just kind of what I talked to the guy about, because there was no need for that kind of a move. I'm not sure if it'll actually show his pedal or not on there, but we'll actually take a look at the cockpit of the 6 car. So here you can see we're on the inside of him currently. He sends it down in. There goes the 1. 6 actually gets into the 2, so he had actually gotten into an incident with the 2 earlier. We are there. He's not going to get a win. There's no way he gets a win here. There's too many cars there. He's going to try to make it go on the outside. It doesn't work. He sends it down in, and he just doesn't let off. Sends it, bumps me. But when you're racing a race like that, I get it at street stock, I get it at C Class, but it's not a move that you need to do. If you're racing iRacing and you're racing for a win, then I can understand. Like, if I had done that to the 2 car right here, let me see if I can. So coming around this corner here, you'll see us dive in there. Now, if I had just hammered the gas, hit the 2, spun him out, got the win, the 2 would have been overly aggravated. I would have still gotten a win. So there's an argument for both sides. You know, Rubbin's racing. But in that sense, you're not going to get a win. You're not going to get anything extra out of it besides a 2nd place finish and an incident point to go against your safety rating. It's not needed. It's not clean racing. It's just trying to do a slide job or a move for no reason. So just something to take away from some of these races here, because you do see different strategies and stuff. That's one thing. There's a time and place to move somebody. There's a time and place to take somebody out or spin them out. It happens. But that was not one of them. So we will quickly, as everything pops on my screen, we'll quickly look at the results here of what that race ended up to be, as we always do. We ended up getting third from 9th place, so we probably could have got second. Not too big of a deal. We get 72 I rating, which bumps us back up into the 1400s, even though we did drop into the 1300s a little bit because of a couple races that I did. We do lose 0.04 safety rating, which is not that big of a deal, but it does get us back into the 3.5s because of that incident. Because I believe we got 2 for him bumping us, and then we got 2 for bumping into the 1. The 1 ended up getting saved because of that too. He didn't lose any safety rating, and he only lost 4 I rating for his troubles. So good on him for keeping it there. The 2 kind of raced him a little bit dirty towards the end there too, but didn't get any incidences. So all in all, a really good race. We got our first top 3 and managed to pretty much keep it clean up until the end. We did get moved, and chances are if that 1 wasn't there, we were pretty much gone and out of it. So not much we could have done there if he did spin us out. Just would have been tough luck. It's happened before. So that's just a lesson learned. There's a time and place to move people. On the last lap of the last turn for not first place is not the time to do it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was a little more look into strategies and the way that we kind of race, and the way that I at least go about racing. Hopefully we bring you more racing videos in the future. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to leave a comment about some things you may want to have me go over, or some things you'd like to be explained or looked at, leave that in the comments. And as always, click that subscribe button if you want to see more and continue to follow along. As always, I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.